Nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time.
It's time once again, Wednesday morning, for our Ask the Doc segment with Dr. Stone from Candy Country Veterinary Hospital for all of your veterinary needs. 7 days a week, right?
6 days a week.
Let me try that again. 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 7.
Yes.
For your other care on this side of or on the other side of the valley, that other area in Newhall, you have All Creatures Veterinary Center, which is a 24/7 operation. So your after-hours operation, or if you live in the Awesome Town area-ish for that section. I have to tell you, I was in my backyard on Saturday doing some yard work, and what did I see over by the wall, like where there's the little lip on the outside wall of your house, and it kind of lips in a little bit? There was a little bird, a very dark gray bird, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with that bird? It's on the ground. And then I remembered what we talked about some time back, and Dr. Stone had said if it's a little bird on the ground this time of year, to leave it alone, because it's probably a fledgling that had just left the nest, and then its mama is probably close by, and it will figure itself out. And sure enough, within a few minutes, it was gone.
Oh, good.
So I've been listening. I want to talk a little bit about dogs as they age, especially when it comes to weight, because we seem to. It's like humans. You know, the day before your 40th birthday, you can eat ice cream and do all this other good stuff, and everything's fine. The day after you turn 40, you try that, you suddenly gain 20 pounds. And so it's kind of the same thing with dogs, because we have our oldest one's Buddy, he's 12, and he kind of went through his stuff, but we've got him kind of dialed in. So he's not,
okay.
He's about 34 pounds, and beagles are roughly around 30 pounds, but we can't feed him any less or exercise him anymore. And he's in good shape. But Otis is going to be 9 on the 19th, so in a few days, and he is suddenly kind of sausaged up, and we're not feeding him more. We're checking to make sure he's not running around eating the other dog's food or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But he is really beginning to pork up a little bit. And so this is something we have to concern ourselves as dogs approach middle age or senior or their senior age as well, right?
Definitely, yeah. As they get older, their metabolism also slows just like us, and they can pack on some pounds. It's always good to get blood work done just in case, because some dogs, as they get older, they can start having thyroid issues. So they can get hypothyroidism, which means their thyroid isn't functioning as well. And that can make them pack on the pounds. And, a lot of people tell me, oh, well, we're not feeding them more, or, we're exercising them the same, but they're not losing weight. They just keep gaining. And then we check the thyroid and it's low. So then we have to treat that with pills. So
they have dogs, again, along the similarities with humans, the same types of things. And it could be, it's not like you've fed them wrong or have exercised them any differently. It's just the same thing happens to us. Mm-hmm. The other thing, too, as they get older is joint problems and things like that, too, right?
Yeah, that, too. That makes it harder to exercise them if they have joint issues. That's why it's good to keep them at a lower weight consistently, because once they do get older, if they do have joint issues, the weight is just going to make it even worse.
Exactly. And things such as, you don't want to regularly give them like a regular aspirin regimen or anything, but you can do glucosamine, right? Or can you
Definitely,
give them?
yeah. Glucosamine is really, really good for them as they get older. I recommend it for all older dogs, or any dog who has any joint issue, because it really does seem to help with inflammation, and it kind of prevents it just from getting worse. We have some in hospital that are little chews, so it's like just a treat with glucosamine in it that are really helpful.
That is nice, because it's not. I mean, sometimes there's the types that you can kind of put in their food and stuff like that, but sometimes they catch on to that too.
Yeah, they do.
So with that too, I'm going to jump on that a little bit about inflammation and joint problems and arthritis and things like that. You guys have done some really awesome things with stem cell therapy for those issues. Especially Dr. Sandhu has done some great stuff. And I know that we talked about this last year, and occasionally I bring it up. Mm-hmm. But that rather than invasive surgery, rather than steroids, for the rest of their lives and things like that, this is something that is now, in this modern time we have, a new approach that seems to do a lot of great things for especially older dogs, right?
Yeah, Dr. Sandhu is very excited about doing stem cells right now. He's been getting into it for the past year and a half or so, and he's been basically it definitely helps with arthritis, joint issues. He's been using it for even, all different kinds of diseases that he's been saying it helps with. So it's really good for the dogs that aren't responding to glucosamine. They're not responding to like non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, and their issues are really bad. Then that's basically something that you can go to, and he's seen a lot of good results with it, actually.
And to be clear, because I know we've had this before, sometimes there's controversy with stem cells and things like that. These are not embryonic stem cells. It's not something that is any type of controversy. It's actually coming from the pet themselves, and all it does is it extracts them, does whatever you do from the medical aspect, and then just injects them in the general area of where the issue is. You don't even have to go direct, and they seem to make their way towards and start to do that repair.
Exactly.
And that's what's important for people to understand who may have those moral issues with that sort of science, that it's not that sort of science. And most of the stem cell therapies that are out there right now are actually dealing with our own cells. Using repair.
Yeah.
So that's important to understand, and it is a really good opportunity, especially if you want Bowser or Princess to be comfortable in their older years. Because in a lot of cases, just like humans, everything else is great. Their disposition is good. They're eating healthy, but if they aren't moving around, that's when they really start. Because dogs are like, in a lot of ways, like humans. They get depressed if they can't be
definitely.
that boy or girl that they have become. We need to take a break, and we get some traffic. I want to talk about a few other things when we come back. We are here with Dr. Stone from not All Creatures, from Canyon Country Veterinary Center, and then All Creatures Veterinary Center also, which is located on this side of town. Canyon Country Veterinary Center, of course, located on Soledad Canyon next to Regal Cinemas. We're back after this. And we're back again with Dr. Stone from Canyon Country Veterinary Hospital, located on Soledad Canyon next to Regal Cinemas. 9 to 7, Monday through Saturday. The hours. Kittens still available, or are they all adopted now?
We still have one baby kitten and the mama cat.
Okay.
And Dr. Sandu actually took our 2 older kittens
home. There we go.
I miss them.
There we go. That's good. So every now and then, if I have people who are asking me, I just call it.
Yeah, we have a little tabby kitten. She's tiny and she's really sweet.
Oh,
and then
goodness.
the mom is really sweet too.
I better not go take a look at that. I have 3 dogs. I don't need it. Even though they're all friendly, all the dogs are friendly with cats, it's always a tough thing. But talking about dogs, we're talking about dogs as they get older. And I want to talk also still about, because exercise is important, but over-exercising, we don't always know when we're over-exercising our dogs, right?
Right.
Because they have a pretty high tolerance of pain, and, unless they're panting heavily, you're just going to keep going. Yeah,
well, some will limit themselves. Others just push themselves to the max, and they'll keep going until they overexhaust themselves. So definitely you have to be careful when it's hot outside.
Right, like on a day like today already, or this week, it's not only hot, but it's dry. And it's really important if you're taking them out in the Towsley Run and things like that some people do, that make sure that they're hydrated as well, and make sure you're giving them breaks. You might be able to run that 6 miles up and down because you're crazy, but your dog also, you need to remember that they have muscles, and they have, all the same things that we do that can be sore. And when it comes to that type of fatigue, what kind of signs can we look for maybe after the fact if we've overexercised them?
A lot of times they can be definitely sore, limping, things like that. But during exercise, if you see that they're panting very heavily, if they're getting kind of, their drool is getting thick and they're getting lethargic, then it's time to stop. But afterward, a lot of times, like, you said, your friend, their tail can be kind of limp because of the muscle fatigue. And, it's best it's good to exercise them, but it's definitely best to look out for certain signs so you don't overexert them, because they don't sweat like us. Basically, their sweating is from panting, and so they can't really cool themselves down the way that we do. And so you really need to be careful when it's hot.
I want to clear this up too on a non-exercise front. When dogs are panting and they are just sitting there, is it necessarily because they're thirsty, or can that be a sign of something else?
Panting actually can be a sign of a lot of different things. Of course, they do it when they're hot. That's the way they try to exchange the hot air for cooler air in their body. That's the way they try to cool their body instead of sweating like us. Other times, dogs can actually pant when they're nervous, even when they're anxious, things like that. They pant.
Okay. What about when they're feeling pain? Is that something that's?
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah, definitely.
I just want to make sure because sometimes that's when our dog's like, what is it? Because I think sometimes they just get anxious.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we did try the Thunder shirt on Otis. Now we haven't used any specific. There wasn't any specific thing that we did. I just put it on him, but he did seem pretty mellow. So we're gonna have to try it if you, especially when company comes over. I think we'll have to put it on him. But
yeah.
they're really easy to put on. You know, he just stayed there for it. All right.
Good.
Yeah. So I will give more details on that and give my total thumbs up or maybe how many stars I would give for it the next time we actually use it. Dr. Stone, always a pleasure. Candy Country Veterinary Hospital, be sure, especially, no matter where you live in the Santa Clarita Valley, but they are easily located on Soledad Canyon next to the Regal Cinemas. And you're open 9 to 7, Monday through Saturday. And if you are in need of after-hours care or are on the other side, the Stevenson Ranch, Newhall, Valencia side, there is All Creatures Veterinary Center located on Lyons Avenue. They are 24/7 operation. Thanks for stopping by. Always love your insight, and have a great week.
Thank you. You too.
All right, time's 8:54. We'll be back with more after this.